Welcome to Hot Takes Cool Updates, the podcast where two friends from high school reunite and discuss trivial opinions that people, for some reason, feel strongly about. And we update each other about our lives along the way. I'm Lacey.
I forgot that I was supposed to say something.
I'm Lacey.
And I'm Jenna, and welcome to today's episode. So on today's episode, we're going to be doing a top 5 challenge. And so what we are hoping to do is rank our top 5 in a particular category. And the category will change every time. And it's going to be something that we decided ahead of time as well. And today, our topic is going to be the top 5 cryptids would let mess us up.
I mean, mess me up, like pow pow.
Yeah, because I really thought, when we first discussed this topic, I thought, I was like, oh my gosh, what if I take it? That's going to showcase our personalities where I take it as mess me up as in fight me, and then you're going to take it mess me up in the opposite direction.
I very much originally meant romantically, but then I was like, I kind of want this to be like a family-friendly podcast, and that's probably not going to fly. So I just changed it up significantly.
Yeah, so family-friendly does not mean romantic to us. It means we'd rather get in a fight.
Touche.
So, and just to clarify for what we had to discuss this ahead of time. So none of us know what our top 5 is at this point. It's going to be news to each other where our top 5 is. However, we did define what cryptids were to each other, just to be clear on what our list could contain. So we decided that cryptids did not mean mythological, but cryptids were animals that people claim to exist, but these animals have not been proven yet in the scientific field.
So for my number 5, I chose the Cactus Cat. It is described as like a bobcat kind of like animal with like thorn-like fur and like sharp bones protruding from its front legs and branched tail. And I just really like this baby because basically all it does from what I've been reading is it kind of goes out at night, it drinks some cactus juice and gets totally sloshed and then just yowls throughout the night. And I'm like, you know what? That's a vibe.
So you're telling me that cactus juice is this cryptid's kryptonite? It's kind of it
Absolutely.
gets it drunk.
It's made of a cactus, so it's this is nothing to me. For our YouTube videos, you're in for a special treat. I have a picture here, and I'm hoping it's too bright of a screen, but
maybe I can Google it and just kind of share my screen.
Yeah, share that screen.
This is really looking almost kind of cute because they have some cute pictures up where it looks like a little angry cat in a little pot of dirt. And it's green. Well, in a lot of the pictures, it has a green color to it. It's really odd.
Yeah, it legitimately looks like a cactus cat. The name couldn't be more clear.
If you look it up, I really don't know if the visuals are even helping me at all. Oh, that's a good visual. I like it's powerlisting.fandom.com. Which I don't know what kind of website that is. I'm just looking at the images here, but it looks pretty fearsome. It looks like it has a tail that looks like a cactus branch. And it's a darker green, more like a forest green. I like that one.
It's very cute, and it's a good way to go. I'm okay with a drunk cat, just being no, meow.
So my number 5, which I don't think is going to be a popular one either. It's the Loveland Frog.
Ooh.
Which I gotta say, Midwest Rise Up. This is based out of Loveland, Ohio. Okay.
Okay. So, I thought it sounded familiar.
So the Loveland Frog, it's said to be a 4-foot tall frog allegedly spotted in Loveland, Ohio. That originally a police officer reported that he shot he gunned down this frog in the 70s. So, which I think is
That's so bad. Dude.
yeah, so I think this gives us some credit because a police officer reported it. I don't know. I feel like it gave it some sort of legitimacy that a police officer reported it. But you know, Ohio doesn't have a lot going for it, so I'll give it this, that I would like to fight a 4-foot frog. So
absolutely. Y'all, I just want you to know that like I've been looking at pictures, and I don't think that this is share screen worthy since we're trying to keep it PG-13, but this frog is dummy thick. Like that's all I'm gonna say. Enjoy the photos as you look it up.
Yeah, there's a couple pictures where he's ripped. The artistic liberties of some of the Google images are very nice. So
yeah, you just look up Loveland Frog man drawing and you'll have a great time. So
yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, there's one artstation.com. He's got a 6-pack and some like big old packs. I don't know what's going on there.
I'd understand why you'd want him to mess you up. I get that.
Yeah, this is well, I would get in a fight with him because I think this is the only one on my list that I could actually fight and win against. I think that's why it's my number 5. My other
that.
4, I don't think I could win against. But I think this one I have a chance.
Gotcha. Well, that takes us to our number 4. Our number 4, I'm not going to get like too much into detail because everyone should know it. It is the Kraken. Something about those tentacles, baby. I would like a quick death. And the Kraken's going to give me that, you know, like just one pull under, like sure, it's going to be terrifying, but it's also, you know, it's going to be pretty cute too. Cause like a Kraken is just, you know, just give it in for a hug. And, you know, like I die from the hug, but it's a, you know, that's okay with me because it's quick. It's quick. Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
I totally get that. And I will say, somewhat spoiler alert, I don't have anything that's underwater on my list. They're all land animals. And which is kind of funny because I think the creepiest thing to me is the sea in the ocean. I think there's so much of it we don't know. It's terrifying, and the open sea is terrifying to me. And so I will say, I even wrote down in my notes, honorable mention, Loch Ness Monster, Miss Nessie. I think she's too sweet to get in a fight with, but if she came running, charging at me, that was on my honorable mention.
That might be later down on my list.
But let's move on to my number 4. My number 4 is Chupacabra.
Absolutely.
It always makes me want to say Chupacabra because I always want to shout out Taco Bell on every episode at some point. I think that might be my goal.
We are not sponsored by Taco Bell. Please don't come for us. We just like you a lot.
I tell you right now, here's my goal. We're never going to take a sponsor until Taco Bell sponsors us. So it may be years down the road.
She doesn't mean that. Please take us. We like money.
Somebody sponsor us, but hopefully Taco Bell first, okay?
Or if you sponsor us, like maybe part of the sponsorship is getting us Taco Bell, which is also acceptable.
Ooh, we should set up like a Taco Bell fund where it's like, send us a taco or something, or send us a Baja Blast. You know, keep a chalupa in your pocket just in case.
So for number 3, I'm going to absolutely butcher this pronunciation because I had never heard of it before, but I was like, you know, this is pretty cool. I kind of want to know. So it is called Bunyip. Bunyip, Bunyip, and it's a creature from the Aboriginal mythology of like southeastern Australia, said to like lurk in swamps, billabogs, creeks, riverbeds, and waterholes. So I'm kind of have like a water theme over here. It's basically like just an entirely aquatic, like in lakes, rivers, swamps, lagoons. I can't even start to describe what this thing looks like.
I just looked it up. The one picture I'm looking at reminds me of the movie The Never Ending Story. Did you watch that with the really huge white flying animal, whatever it was called? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that huge furry white animal, except it's brown. Like imagine that if that was mixed with Yoda. Or maybe like a mammoth, a woolly mammoth or something.
So what I'm seeing is that people who have like seen the bunyip. 60% say that it resembles like a seal or swimming dog, and 20% of sightings are of like long-necked creatures with small heads, and the remaining descriptions are like ambiguous beyond like categorization, which is exactly what you see if you Google like the bunyip, which is just, again, absolutely like crazy looking creature.
Okay, so my number 3, drum roll please, is Wendigo.
Oh yeah, baby.
And the reason why I picked this is because I played the game Until Dawn, and it like featured Wendigo. I was really obsessed with it, and it just really made me get into it. For those who don't know what Wendigo are, I'm reading a description off of Cryptid Wiki. So it says Wendigo are, and I quote, a cannibalistic spirit with similar appearance to a corpse, with skeleton-like thin body, with gray skin, sunken eyes, bloody lips, yellow fangs, and a long slimy tongue. So kind of like zombies, basically.
They're honestly terrifying to me. So like, I feel like the less I talk about them, the less that like I'll get messed up by them. They did not make my list. They weren't even close because like I don't ever want to encounter them. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I think my list progressively gets a mix of things that like I would be afraid to meet, but at the same time, I would be super interested to meet as well. So
okay.
I'm like a zombie. No, I don't want to meet it, but at the same time, prove zombies are real. Okay, like I think
that's.
Yeah.
I like the different ways that we approach this. So my number 2 is the Loch Ness Monster. Again, water theme over here, I guess. The reason that I chose Loch Ness Monster, though, it's very much a like leave me alone. Like I might peek out once in a while to see like what's going on, but like other than that, peace out. I'm basically just trying to leave everyone alone. I don't think that Nessie would actually hurt anybody, which is one of the reasons she's on like my number 2. Because Bunyip, if you see it, it's gonna mess you up. Kraken definitely is messing you up. Cactus Cat, like he's gonna scratch you up really good. But I don't feel like Nessie would mess me up. I feel like she, oh crap, you saw me, and that would be that. So
wait, so I'm confused. The top of the category is
I know. I'd let it mess me up to gain its self-esteem. I feel like it wouldn't mess me up, but like I want it to mess me up.
Okay.
So that it can be like, it's okay to come out of your shell, buddy. Like, come on out. Show everyone that you got your pew pew pew, like you got this. Come on. I'd let you mess me up.
Okay.
Got this, Nessie.
I can get behind it. And I feel like afterwards you'd like ride it like a horse or something, and you can
absolutely be buddies.
Yeah. Like good job.
You didn't drown me in the process.
So you would almost be like the Mr. Miyagi to the Loch Ness Monster. Like,
that's the goal.
I like it. I feel like you would just take these cryptids under your wings. That's great.
Absolutely. Come on, guys.
All right. My number 2 is Bigfoot, and I put /Yeti. And the reason behind that, I know some people might say there's a difference between it, and I guess the Yeti is more of like the white fur sort of thing. Really, you know what? Now that I was just teasing you about saying it should be the ones that should mess us up, not pals, my literal statement on here in my notes, I put Bigfoot /Yeti. Mainly because I love the opportunity to meet and hang out. Is literally my notes on here. That was my reasoning behind it. So I guess I was just kind of like teasing you for your number 2, and then my literal reason is that I want to actually get to meet Bigfoot.
I understand. That was my reasoning behind Nessie, and then I was like, but I'd let it beat me up. It needs to come out of its shell.
So I think for Bigfoot is that like, yes, I definitely think it could mess me up because he's Bigfoot. But also, I'd let him mess me up because I think I want to prove that he's real, sort of thing, and to hang out with him. So absolutely.
I am looking forward to this number 1. Let me tell you what.
Oh,
it is the Funeral Mountain Pteroshotte. It is a walking rectangle cube with legs, and it is a fearsome critter of the lumberjack folklore of North America in the 19th and 20th century. It's like a cascade shaped like shell, which is like 6 to 8 feet in length, with long wobbly legs, which like cause the pteroshoote to sway instantly from like side to side and forward and backward. But here's the best part, okay? Here's why I'd let it mess me up. Number 1, it absolutely could. It's a giant freaking rectangle. Number 2, the way it messes me up I just breathe in like the air that it's breathing and I turn into it. That's
Ah.
how it messes me up. I literally become it just by being around it. And it's a herbivore. So it's like I'm not going to hurt anything in the process. I'm just eating some noms, like chewing on some grass, but it's definitely going to mess me up and that I'm no longer a human. And I'm like, "Hey, that's the like most vegan way of going out. So like let's do it."
I'm trying to figure out this. Does it like get bigger with by like forming other people's energy into itself?
The funeral mountain shark is a six-legged fungoid, part fungus and part animal, with horns and a herbivorous diet. The spores are deadly, and if inhaled, a human will turn into one. And that
Oh,
has
so
a
they
sign.
turn into a separate one, not like turn
Correct.
into like, because I was imagining like it gets bigger and bigger and like it like absorbs whatever it comes into contact with.
I figured reading it would probably explain it better than what anything I could say. So
Okay, love it. It's very like that is kind of creepy that it would just totally just by coming into contact with it, you would just turn into it. So I think that's very kind of
yeah, that's spoopy. I'm here for it.
Is this spoopy? I think just if you listen to our first episode, you probably already have a hint of what my number one's going to be. And my number one's going to be Mothman. I just don't know what it is about Mothman. I think it's the fact that it has those beady red eyes, which like, you know, if you watch any horror film, what do you see? Those creepy red eyes staring at you. Like that's in like that's such a like a horror trope. The fact that it can fly really fast over like as fast as the car. The fact that it's in West Virginia, that's scary too. West Virginia is not exactly a fun place.
Spoopy.
If you've been through West Virginia, if you've been through anywhere in the Midwest or the I guess West Virginia is not Midwest, but if you've been through places like that, it's all mountains. That's creepy enough. You don't need a half man, half moth, red-eyed person flying by your car.
Nope. No, thank you.
Yeah, and plus, I don't know if anyone's watched this, but the Mothman Prophecies, I remember watching that movie and I really loved it. Which is like 20 years old now, probably at this point. So I like that. I like that movie, and I think that's what kind of sparked my interest in Mothman. So
man, I was like, I wouldn't want to be messed up by him. Like I feel like he'd do some damage. I feel like he would like torture me before actually like letting me die. Like he was not close to my list. I'm like, I want to meet him. If it was like a top 5 cryptids I would want to meet, sure, but I don't want him to mess me up.
And you know, to be honest, I don't really know offhand if he even has like powers to mess people up. I don't know if he's
I just assumed that he'd like put me in a chokehold and like start flying up and then slam me to the ground.
Use your imagination with Mothman. That's enough. Your imagination is enough to scare you with him. So
well, thank you all for listening to Hot Takes Cool Updates. If you would like to connect with us, please, you can email us at hottakescoolupdates@gmail.com. And yes, I again am saying it slow with the hopes that you will email us. We'd be glad to hear your thoughts on the topic we discussed or your suggestions on what to talk about next. Catch you next week.